Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is. Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah! It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here is Huck and Big Nate.
We both missed. That wasn't even close.
Botched that. We gotta go down to the range and
We're stormtroopers
practice. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a stormtrooper fire. Welcome into another edition of Brewsday Tuesday. I'm Big Nate. He is Huck.
I am.
By the Cellar Restaurants. Well, Huck's not brought to you by the Cellar Restaurants Six Pack Store. Brewsday Tuesday is.
But indirectly, Huck is also brought to you.
So
spent a lot of time with Mikey down there.
That's why you keep coming to hang out with me. Mikey just keeps selling you on it. I got it.
Yeah. So anyway, I decided to surprise you.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
With cream ales. Okay. So I had trouble finding 4 cream ales. But one of my internet friends who's hilarious and a brewer, and she posts stuff up all the time that's funny and interesting. And she said something about cream ales, and how great they are. And I would agree. I'm a fan of cream ales, but no one's ever heard of them. And very rarely do you find one in a brewery. So I went out and found us 4 cream ales. And this one is from, actually, remember back in the day, Kentucky Brewing. These guys make a bunch of beer we like a lot, bourbon barrel aged IPAs and stuff. So I said, well, they had 2. They had the vanilla barrel cream, which is what we're having, and it's aged in a vanilla bourbon barrel. So we're having a cream ale,
coffee barrel,
and then a coffee bourbon.
Big fan of coffee. I'm excited. So I want to tell you something. You point out that no one's ever heard of cream ales.
Yeah,
I've only ever had 1 cream ale in my life.
You looked it up, or you just know that?
No, I know this for a fact.
Yeah,
Genesee, technically a cream ale.
No, it is.
The only beer that you can really regularly get in Virginia in a 30-pack.
Yeah,
is Genesee cream ale.
Yeah, and you're right. And that came up in my research. But little I did. And we didn't even do a beer fact last week.
Wow. We did a lot of Mardi Gras.
Yeah, we did a lot of Mardi Gras facts. So.
We learned a lot, and I felt like...
and I have some cream ale facts this week.
Well, that's exciting. So what's your experience with cream ales before now?
I want to say it was maybe 10 or 12 years ago. And I was in Boulder, Colorado, and I went into a brewery. I'm sorry, I really can't remember which one. May have been Avery, and I was doing the flight of beers, and I said, "Well, what's a cream ale?" And the guy's like, "Oh, you'll like a cream ale," and so he fixed me one, and I did. So since then, there's been a couple beers like that, moments like that. Saison's another one. Cream, Creeks. Keilrk. It's like a bunch of these lighter beers that are really good. And, you get your head all down into the double, triple IPA point, and you miss out on a lot of really good, well-made beers. And so cream was one that I found to be very yummy, and I get it. Whenever I see one, I try it. If I'm in any brewery and they're making cream ale, I'm going to drink it.
So I got to ask, for the uninitiated and the people who've only had Genesee, what makes it a cream ale?
Well, cream it's a lager, so it's like the fermentation process is a little different. Of course, the ad popped up where I was going to read that to you. So a cream ale it's a mild, light-bodied ale made with using a warm fermentation and then cold lagering. So basically, you ferment it at 72 to 80 degrees. And then after a week or two, you throw it down to 43 degrees. A lot of people take a chest freezer, and you can buy these probes that turn it on and off so it keeps temperature right. And then you let it lager for a month. And then you pull it out, and what you have is a thicker lager. It's a ale, taste ale, but it's actually a lager. So there you go. It's light in color, it's light in bitterness, and it's light in alcohol. So there you go.
I'm a big fan of this my second cream ale in life.
Oh, and we got
Of course,
more to come.
enjoying the
The whole
Kentucky
show's-
Barrel cream ale.
Yeah.
I would have thought, and it makes sense given your description of the process and what's going on. Yeah, I mean, cream makes sense, but I was thinking there was actual cream involved. So
Right,
I was
that's like-
curious because I mean, yeah, if you look at it, if you're watching on video, it's pretty daggone transparent.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you
like
can see me through it.
a milk stout has no milk.
That I did know.
Okay. So a cream ale as well has no cream. It's got a creamy mouthfeel, I think is where it comes
It
from.
very much so does.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's a good beer there. Yummy.
No, this is a fun one. I'm excited.
I actually went in to a store and I said, I want something completely different. And they said, we just got this cream ale in from Dogfish Head, which is going to be our next session. And then I said, well, you got 3 more. And there was a bit of a struggle, but we found them.
So here's something you may not have known. Apparently, a lot of the history of cream ales we owe to Canada. Because
It figures anything that's like you're not really aggressive.
it's Canadian.
It's
I mean,
Canadian.
that's absolutely right. I mean, it's classified as a style of American beer, but when Prohibition hit, cream ales moved up to Canada, the Great White North, and they refined, as they like to.
Well, this
claim.
other guy says
cream
it
ale.
was created in America. Maybe they meant
Yeah, it was created
North
in
America.
it was created in America, but once Prohibition hit,
Oh,
it moved
north.
to Canada, and following the end of Prohibition, Canadian cream ale was the more popular version.
So I would imagine that who's that blue Labatt? They probably make one. I don't know.
Okay, we could do a whole segment on Canadian beers
And we will.
because I don't. Is there a Canada Day or something? I don't know.
I'm sure
we need
there
to
is.
figure that out because
Nobody cares
I
what
actually-
there is. Nobody cares.
there are some. I guess they would be Canadian domestics that the Molson, the Labatt's, the.
Oh yeah, Labatt's owned by InBev now, so I didn't know that.
I like Labatt's. I don't.
Yeah, well, I went to a festival in Upper New York. The blues was it Blues Stock, and that's all you could get, and it was good. But I'm looking for their different beers here. But anyway, so yeah, we digress. But yeah, we need to do Canadian. You know, I grew up on Moosehead, and what was the other one? There's 2 from up there. Molson, is that?
Molson.
Yeah, Molson and
Labatt's.
Moosehead. I didn't get Labatt's till I was an adult, but I drank Molson, Moosehead when I was a kid. My brother had the beer Quaffers Quorum Beer Club, and so I was 17, so I would drive these alcoholics to beer stores like in DC, and then they would buy cases of beer. So I'm like driving the car, going, "Is it a felony to cross the state line with all this beer back in Virginia?" And they're like, "Shut up, keep driving. We'll let you have a beer when you get home." Like, that's not fair. It's like, life's not fair. I learned about beer. We used
Life
to get-
lessons with Huck.
We used to get the Coors that had the push button.
Yep.
You push the button, let the pressure off, and then you stick your finger in the hole and cut your finger in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Safety regulations.
Safety third, I always
were,
say.
yeah. Or not at all. I mean, if we've got time,
Safety third.
we've got time.
Measure
Safety.
once, cut 4 times.
Oh,
Be prepared.
good Lord. I've had so many of those experiences. And that, not the I'll measure 4 times, but it still comes out wrong. I'm terrible carpenter.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm terrible at measuring. So I was like, it's this whole age thing, I think. But the jacks on the RV, one of the great things about the RV is you push the button and it levels it. So it did that. So I come out and there's oil in all of the pans. I'm like, what the heck? So I look it up on the internet and read about it. And it's probably, they use transmission fluid. And so they said, basically spray it with silicone spray, run them up and down a couple times, they'll be fine. And they were. But the thing it was like, it goes, which jack do you have? I said, I'll just replace them. Well, no, it's $4,000. So I'm going to use the silicone. Okay. But I had to measure them. It said the diameter has to be this. So I measured it, and it's supposed to be 3. And I'm like, I keep getting 13. No, I was getting the circumference. Hello. So I had to have some pi.
Wow.
Yeah, take pi and divide it. You had to divide pi into the circumference and you get the diameter. But that took me an hour and a half to remember. If you can imagine all the stuff I know, but I don't have time to remember it.
Math
Math.
Anything to do with concrete mathematics went out the window as soon as I left.
Yeah,
high
but we
school.
have a calculator with us all
Like,
the time.
I'm real good at abstract. I'm great. I can find X all day. We can do this all week long. I can figure out what's missing. But like geometry was my worst subject in school.
Well, I was not a fan of math until we got to trigonometry, and I realized that
Trig was cool.
it could tell me how far a bullet would fall after I fired it, and that's information I can use.
Yeah,
as a hunter. There were air quotes there.
Not a very good one. Not a very good one, given the accuracy with which you shot that bottle cap here.
Okay, fair enough. But the velocity it's hard to calculate a very slow velocity.
This is true.
High velocity is much easier. So we're what are you thinking of the cream ale? Should we go ahead and score these bad boys?
We should, but first I want to go ahead and step on a soapbox here. You handed me something that combines two of my favorite things.
All right.
Before noon, I've probably had about a pot of coffee. Before midnight, I've probably had a 6-pack. There's Coffee Barrel Cream Ale might be my new favorite beverage in the whole wide world. I'm Horror Show Radio on Untapped. He's Huck's Beer Buzz. I did it last week for the first time, and I really hate that I'm doing it again. But you know what? This Coffee Barrel Cream Ale from Kentucky, getting a 5.
There you go. Well, I got to say that when we first had the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel, I don't know if it was a stout. It wasn't a stout. I think it was a Bourbon Barrel IPA. Drez and I, back in the day, this was a long time ago, we had no idea. We just got the beer, and we both gave it 5s because it was like so good. And this is a really good cream ale too.
I mean, this doesn't taste like beer though. It's like carbonated coffee.
See, that's what this is. Very, very light on the vanilla. You know, I'm not going to go 5, but I'm really looking forward to the coffee. And I can see yours is a lot darker. So that must be the coffee. So the vanilla didn't really knock it out of the park, but still, it's a 4.25, which is, better than the average bear.
No, that is pretty daggone
3.5 being probably it. My average is right around 4. So anything I score over 4 is good.
All right. Well, let's have some more cream ales because I'm really liking this adventure.
So can we play some cream?
Yeah, I think we'll go in a White Room.
Tales of Great Ulysses, White Room. They're all good.
White Room, easily my favorite. So
all right,
we're gonna listen to some cream. Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant 6-Pack Store. We'll be back after this on 105.3 The Bear.